Now, for many of us during lockdown, video calling has proved a major benefit for working, learning or just catching up with friends, but it can present particular problems for deaf people. Charities say extra considerations are needed now. So many of us are conversing remotely rather than face to face. Here's Nick Smith.
For many of us, video call technology has been a lifeline in our ability to keep in touch. But for the estimated 12 million people across the country who are deaf or hard of hearing, it can present some challenges. MK is a deaf student from Exmouth and converses using British Sign Language. She likes the visual aspects of video calling for face-to-face conversations, but says it isn't totally ideal.
Using Zoom can be challenging for deaf people, especially if lots of people are signing at the same time. It is important to have one person signing at a time and to make sure everyone is clear who is signing. Also, sometimes the internet freezes, causing people's signing to be stilted or jerky. This can make it challenging to understand what is being signed.
MK attends the nearby Deaf Academy, which takes students from across the Westcountry. It still can't open its doors. Mark Stocks is the assistant principal and has been trying to ensure students and staff can still work remotely. For those like him who rely on lip reading, platforms like Zoom can sometimes be tricky.
Wi-Fi issue can have a significant delay on how the sign language is actually being interpreted on screen. So when you've got a delay in what's being said and what's being signed, actually the student be able to receive that. But another issue that we've noticed is actually if you have too many on the screen at the same time, you have to constantly look at the person who's talking and then move from one person to another. And of course, if you don't clearly explain to someone that you're deaf and you're trying to lip read them, they will just have a conversation like normal and not give you the time to actually see who's speaking or raise their hand so you can follow the conversation properly.
Those at the Royal Association for Deaf People say while video technology can bring benefits to those who are deaf and working from home, it's important to make special considerations.
Or maybe deaf colleagues or somebody that you work with, it's making sure that they have that support in a meeting. And again, having somebody to lead so they can make sure that people are taking turns, people aren't talking over each other, and just to make sure that that deaf person has the support and also to consider the interpreter if there is one present.
When you're working from home and you're basically on your laptop all the time throughout the day, so it means you are constantly looking at a screen. And then when you do have calls and you have to join meetings, you're still looking at that screen, but you have to focus even harder and you get no break. And sometimes your eyes, can actually become quite sore.
Video calling will still play a major role in adjusting to a world with COVID for the foreseeable future. And while deaf people say there is nothing to match in-person, face-to-face interaction, it's hoped raising some of the issues with these virtual platforms will help them feel more included as we all continue to adjust to this new normal. Nick Smith, ITV News.